Students, to the class of design of RC structure. Last day we solved a half portion of a slab. We calculate up to area of reinforcement required. That value comes 518 millimeter square, right? So now let's continue. Next, when we calculate the area of reinforcement required to the slab section, then we have to calculate our spacing value. Remember one thing, in case of slab we always calculate our spacing, and in case of beam we always calculate the number of bars. Okay, so this is a slab problem, so we calculate spacing, right? So what is our spacing? Spacing is nothing but pi by 4 into d square. D square means that is the area of your cross-sectional area of your main bar. Your main bar diameter was 10. So pi by 4 into d square means area of cross section of a single bar, right? And we design per 1 meter length, so our B value is 1 meter, that means 1000 millimeter, and this is AST required. So spacing is nothing but pi by 4 into dia of main bar square into 1000 divided by AST required. So this value come, AST required value is how much? 518 millimeter square, right? So if we calculate, the value comes 151.53 millimeter. Now when this type of value is come, we always take lesser value from this, and which is multiple by, which can be multiplied by 25 millimeter for the sake of ease of designing. Okay, so we take 150 millimeter. We can't take 155 millimeter. Okay, so this how much spacing is come, take the lesser value, and which is multiple by 25. So our AST means area of reinforcement provided will be pi by 4 into d square into divided by spacing. Now this spacing value is this one. Okay, this is our coming spacing value. We give spacing value is 150 millimeter. So the area of reinforcement will be differ. So how much? This is 524 millimeter square. That means our required area of reinforcement is 518 millimeter square. That means if we give 518 millimeter square area of reinforcement, that design is safe. So I give, for sake of factor of safety, our AST provided is 524 millimeter square, 24 millimeter square, right? Now from clause 26.5.2.1 of IS 456 2000, we can calculate our minimum area of reinforcement, right? So minimum area of reinforcement is in this clause it says your minimum reinforcement area is 0.12% of your gross cross sectional area. Okay, so 0.12 percentage means 0.12 divided by 100 into gross cross sectional area. What is your gross cross sectional area? That means B into D, that is gross cross sectional area, that we give not effective depth, we take our overall depth. Okay, so 0.12 into B, our B value is 1000, into D value is 175. Okay, so value comes 210 millimeter square. Okay, fine. So what is your spacing? If we you calculate spacing, so in case of distribution bar, you can provide 8 mm dia bar at the rate 220 millimeter center to center spacing. So this is distribution bar reinforcement, and we provide 8 millimeter dia bar. Okay, now we have to check our spacing norms. Remember one thing, spacing should be less than 5D or 300 millimeter. Okay, so our spacing should be less than 5D. Or 5D means 5 into what is our effective depth value? Effective depth value is 140. So this is 700 millimeter or 300 millimeter. This spacing should be less than these two, from these two. Our spacing is how much? 220. So this is greater than 220 millimeter. Hence it is adequate. Okay, because our 220 millimeter spacing is less than 5D, that is 700 millimeter or 300 millimeter. It is less than these two values. Okay, now move on to the next step, that is step 6. And what is our step 6? In step 6 we have to calculate shear force, right? So this is the check for shear. Check for shear. Now what is our nominal shear stress? We have to calculate our nominal shear stress. Nominal shear stress is nothing but our shear force divided by net area of cross section. Okay, so what is our shear force value? Take a look. We have calculated earlier. This one is our shear force value, that is 26.96 kilonewton, right? So 26.96, right? Or 97, what was that? 97, sorry. 26.97 into 10 to the power 3. We transform it to Newton value, kilonewton to Newton, 10 to the power 3, multiply by 10 to the power 3 and divided by 1000 into 140, because our B value is 1000 and our D value is 140. Okay, so this value comes 0.193. If you calculate, this value will come, and the unit is Newton per millimeter square. Okay, Now in the next part we have to calculate our percentage of PT. What is percentage of PT? It is nothing but our AST provided into BD, and this is percentage, so we transform it into 100. Okay, so this is our PT value. If we denote as percentage, then neglect this 100, and if we represent as our amount of PT, then multiply by 100. So our AST provided how much? AST provided is 524 millimeter square divided by BD, that means 1000 into 140, that is D value, and is 100. So this value is come 0.374. Okay, now we have to assume tension still at support. So we assume tension still at support. So this value 0.374 divided by 2, this comes 0.19%. Okay, 0.19%. Now go through IS 456 code and table 19. Okay, there will be a chart. From there you can calculate your tau C value. There will be a chart, you can see, this will be your percentage PT versus your grade of concrete. So our grade of concrete is how much? Our grade of concrete is M25, that means 25 grade of concrete. So for the case of 25 grade of concrete and percentage PT is 0.19%, then we can say that from table 19, I request all of you to go through the IS 456 code and check table 19. You can evaluate the value of tau C, okay, by interpolation. You have to interpolate. Okay, how interpolate done you already know. The value comes 0.318 Newton per millimeter square. So tau C value is 0.318 Newton per millimeter square. Now this tau C value is 0.318, and our tau V value is, remember one thing, this nominal shear stress we represent is as tau V. So this tau V value is 0.193. So clearly we can say tau C is greater than tau V. Okay, hence we can say the slab is safe in shear. Remember one thing, if this tau C value comes lesser than this tau V value, then we have to redesign this problem. Okay, now move on to the next step, that is step 7. In step 7 we have to check our deflection value. So check for deflection. This is a very much important step. See this carefully. Okay, from IS 456 2000 clause number 23.2.1. okay, we can say that from IS 456 2000 clause 23.2.1, we can say span by depth. Okay, span by depth is equal to 20 in case of simply supported beam. If simply supported beam or simply supported slab, okay, so if this value span by depth equal to 20 for case of beam and only for one way slab. In case of two way slab the value is different. Okay, that value comes 35 for simply supported, and in case of cantilever for beam and one way slab the value comes, span by depth value is 7, remember this. And in case of continuous one way slab or continuous beam, the span by depth ratio comes 26. Okay, so this is our problem is based on simply supported one way slab, so span by depth is equal to 20. So Fs is equal to 0.58 into Fy into AST required divided by AST provided. We have to calculate Fs. So the value comes how much? 0.58 into Fy. What is our Fy value? Fy is nothing but 415 Newton per millimeter square into AST required. AST required how much? AST required was 518. Okay, 518 and AST provided was 524, right? So this value comes 237.5 Newton per millimeter square. Now from IS 456 code figure 4, okay, IS 456 2000 figure 4, there is a chart. From this chart you can calculate your modification factor value. To find out the modification factor value, we should know our Fs value and percentage PT value. That's why I have calculated our Fs value, and in previous we calculate our percentage of PT value. So our Fs value is how much? 237.5 and percentage PT is 0.374, right? So from there we can clearly say the modification factor is, you have to see the chart, see the diagram to find out the modification factor. So from this figure the modification factor comes 1.384. You can take 1.4, you can take 1.35. You have to take the as much closer value as you can. Okay, so hence our allowable span by depth means L by D. Remember one thing, this depth value is obviously always effective depth value. Don't take this as overall depth. Okay, this is effective depth. So our L by D is equal to 20 into modification factor. Okay, so our L is 3500 divided by D is equal to 20 into 1.384. that means value comes 27.68. okay, now you can say, sir, why we take L value as 3500 and why don't we take the L value as 9 meter? Okay, so have a look. If this is your slab, this is the longer version and this is the shorter version, shorter direction. This is the longer direction and this is the shorter direction. So you can clearly see that you can bend this book this much, and in this direction nothing, only this much. So take a look that always bending moment maximum in the shorter direction, right? So we have to calculate at the for the maximum bending moment, and maximum bending moment is always comes in the shorter direction of the slab. So we take our length is shorter value. So the value comes how much? We have to calculate our D value from here, and D value is 3500 divided by 27.68. that means value is 126.44. okay, now we calculate this whole problem as taking our effective D value is 140 and our allowable, that means our required D value is 126.44. So we can clearly say that is very much in safe portion. Hence slab is safe against deflection. Okay, so for today's class, that's all for today. Now next class we have to calculate our check for development length. Okay, and after completing the check for development length, we can continue to a slab as well as then beam. Okay, so that's all for today. Now thank you. Go through the problem very clearly. Okay.